YouTube battle community, David Bowie fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we are here today to talk about David Bowie's brand new, well, kind of new release from 2018, Record Store Day, July, August of 2018. Welcome to the Blackout, live at Earl's Court, 1978, in London. So this was originally a Record Store Day release in April 21st of 2018, and as Bowie's, company, whoever owns the Bowie estate right now, what they've been doing lately, which is great, is taking those releases and making them available for the public, which is awesome, because, Record Store Day is hard to shop on, because, you get there early, and they'll get 2 copies of an album, and if the first 2 people walk in and grab that, and then you're gone, it's done, man, it's game over, so, and then going online trying to get things on eBay is like, people flip these things, it's ridiculous prices, so it's crazy, so, it's great that they put these things out, like the Cracked Actor Live in '74, and now this one, which is also available on standard LP as well. It's a 3-album set, I believe. It's like $60. It's bloody expensive. But this set is easily one of my favorite live albums by Bowie, hands down. I would take this over Stage any day. And I say that because, if you don't know, Stage was the album that came out from this same tour, and it was comprised of a bunch of a lot of shows from most of the American tour, and they compiled an album from that. But the Setlist is wonky. They broke it up all over the place. They didn't just put the show out how the show was. They broke it up like in sections. So like side 1 of record 1 is like the Ziggy Stardust stuff, and then you get some Low stuff, then you get some Station to Station stuff, and some Hero stuff. I don't know who was in charge of that one, but it's kind of a mess. And the sound of that one isn't too bad. It's been redone over the years. The current version is 2017 mix of it. It's really not bad. I like that one better, but this album for me, this was recorded over 2 dates. It was July, it was June, I want to say it was June 30th and July 1st at Earl's Court in London. And you get a better cohesive idea of the show from this. It just sounds like one concert, whereas Stage for me sounds broken up in places, not the whole thing, but in places. But for me also too, having this thing done in the original order of the actual show he would have played with some added tracks that aren't on Stage, makes this for me a superior release. I love this album. I've been playing the hell out of it. I got it for Christmas, and it's such a great album. It's so fun. It also doesn't hurt that this is my favorite period of Bowie. If I had to pick a period, Ziggy Stardust I love, but the Low album, that's some good stuff right there. That Low album's my favorite. One of my favorites. So yeah, this album is just fantastic. His band at this point was top notch. I mean, Carlos Alomar, Adrian Belew, you get some crazy hard-hitting people on this thing, which would follow him to his next album, Lodger, to complete the Berlin trilogy, which Lodger is a little shaky for me. It's got its moments, but that's another review. This was his tour for the Heroes album, the Isolar 2 tour, and he went all over the place with this thing, but for me, this album, this live concert experience, which was also was going to be a film, but Bowie canceled it, you get an idea of just where he was, which is always something he did. Whatever tour he was doing the most recent stuff, to show off who he was at that moment, but he'd always bust out some of the classics. And so when you get this album and you're hearing a lot of the current stuff, like Off Low and Heroes, and a little bit of Station to Station at the beginning, and then he busts into literally almost half of Ziggy Stardust, as like, holy crap, and then you get a couple other Station to Station songs, and then you end with Rebel Rebel. What a show. It's super impressive. I'll show the packaging off right off the bat. So great picture on the front. Really love that shot of him. And it opens up as a trifold. So you get another couple of good shots there. Then just black on the inside after that. But the discs themselves are really cool. So big name for Bowie there. And then you got, stereo, obviously. But, it's 2 disc set. So you get 2 of those. And the booklet that it comes with is pretty impressive too. It's simple, but it's still kind of cool. So you get Isolar 2, David Bowie, 1978, which is like how the program would have looked. Like here's the back of it. So you get the musicians on there, which is really cool. And it does open up a little bit. Nice shot of him there again. and a review in the newspaper like the next couple of days later, and then legal stuff. But it does open up into a poster, which is kind of nice. So that's kind of cool. Pretty awesome. I'm not going to do a super duper wow because it's 1926. Not going to do like a very in-depth review of each song in particular, but I did want to make mention of a lot of them because of how well performed they are, well executed. Opening with Warzawa, and throughout most of this album, doing several other instrumentals, it's captivating, and also a super bold risk to take. When people go to a concert, they just want to get right off the bat, blown out of their seats, let's rock and roll. And instead, here comes Bowie with Warzawa, which is just a weird, eerie, atmospheric, creepy, it sounds like what outer space would sound like because of what like Holst would have created, somebody like that, or we get an idea of what space might sound like, this big, empty, eerie place. I hate to use the word eerie twice, but it's kind of eerie. And this song is just so mystical, and it totally captures your imagination. It's so fun to listen to. But then he busts into Heroes, and that song just blows up. The drumming from Dennis Davis on this is unbelievable. His fills are so lifelike, or full of life. Of course they're lifelike, duh. But they're full of life. Very like charismatic drumming that gets really into the heart of the song. It's euphoric, it's powerful. Bowie's vocals are just spot on this whole album. There isn't a bum note on this whole album. He just nails it the whole way through. But then you get the tracks like What in the World off of Low, and it starts off kind of like a slow, almost reggae-ish beat, and then it just kicks into high gear for the rest of the song. It's like on double speed. It's cool to hear that version. The thing is with Low, the first half of that album is like your pop songs, and a lot of them are pretty short, so to hear them get lengthened out on this album is very fun, especially on Breaking Glass. That's always been one of my favorite tracks by him anyway, but hearing him just go full out with this one and kind of play it twice as long, or almost 3 times as long, kind of repeats some of the verses over and over again, but then he does this like coda thing, where it's just a hi-hat and a kick drum, and it's him and his group singing along, I'll never touch you, over and over again, and he's like really getting into it. It just takes your breath away about how powerful just his voice is and how tight the band was. I love that. I've been playing this thing so much, and I still don't get tired of how fun that is to listen to. But also, Speed of Life, Sound and Vision, and this album, 3 of the songs on this were not on the stage album. So, actually 4 maybe if you count Alabama Song, but Gene Genie, Sound and Vision, and Rebel Rebel were on the original stage album. So this one I feel like is superior because you get more songs. And they're great tracks too. But before they play Sound and Vision, he does say, here's one we haven't done in a while, here's one we haven't done yet, or something. So it's cool to hear that kind of get debuted here. Fame is absolutely a monster. I mean, the groove the band creates on this is unreal. With how tight they are, how much Bowie locks into that feeling so well. Absolutely exciting to listen to, and just a hell of a lot of fun. But tracks like Blackout, I mean, this is just a frenzy, manic take on this song. You really get locked into that one as well. I mean, that's just disc 1. Disc 2, you get 6 songs from Ziggy Stardust, and they're all played so expertly, but with just a tinge of the Low Heroes-esque stuff on top of it, with violins and some synthesizers back there, which kind of gives it a little bit of a fresh take to it. But they don't change it up too much. The drum intro to 5 Years is different, which is common for Bowie stuff because he always changes things up here and there. But Soul Love is great. Star, it's just a hell of a lot of fun. I think rocks all the way through. And you get that trifecta of Hang On to Yourself, Ziggy Stardust, and Suffragette City. I mean, don't lean on me, man. That's awesome. And then you get all of that, and they jump back into Art Decade off of Low, and it's like, oh yeah, just keep that weird vibe going. And then you get an even weirder vibe with Alabama Song, which is a Doors cover, and I'm not the biggest Doors fan, so you probably won't see a whole lot of their albums on my channel, but him doing Alabama Song is almost terrifying and cartoony and very much out of the Frank Zappa canon. So I'm wondering if Adrian Belew had something to do with that, because he was playing with Zappa for a while there. So I'm wondering if he had an influence with that, which is pretty interesting. But Bowie's take on it is very Bowie. It's just fun to listen. Then you get Station to Station, TVC15, and Stay, which just ripped through it. And that version of Station to Station just shreds. And TVC15, always a fun one. You know, especially when they get to the end of the song, it's like, you know, all the instruments kind of stop and go, stop and go, stop and go at the same time. Stay, classic guitar riff on that one, and ending with Rebel Rebel. I mean, what more can you ask for? But hell of an album. I cannot recommend this thing highly enough. There's the side. Here's the back of it. You know, pretty plain packaging, but I kind of like that. You know, the Blackout, black and white. Here you go. And I know I've said this probably 100 times. It's fun to listen to. It is. If you're a Bowie fan, pick it up. If you're new to the live experience of Bowie stuff, I highly recommend it. This would be a live album I would totally recommend you jumping into. If it's the first live album you ever got from Bowie, pick this up. Excellent experience. I really wish they would have put that movie out. It's probably out there on bootleg somewhere. I'm not too familiar with Bowie movie bootlegs, so I'll have to investigate that further. But yeah, for me, 10 out of 10, hands down, man, no problem. There isn't a bad track on here, and the band is so well oiled as a machine at this point, and Bowie's voice is in full form. Plus, it's the Low and Heroes era. What more can you ask for? So that's it. My name is Giggens. This has been David Bowie. Welcome to the Blackout, live in London, 78. 10 out of 10. Have you guys heard this thing too? Be interested to hear what you think about it. Or did you get the record store day release of this thing? Because it'd be cool to see that. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Giggens, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.